How's it going, Scrub Gamers? Welcome back to another channel. I'm Jamie with Scrub Games, and here bringing you a deck profile on Dark Broly. So Dark Broly is one of the new deck types in the Set 11 coming out in October. It's quite interesting and unique, being that the deck rolls around mostly black 30k power battle cards, and it has a different kind of mill where it's like more controlled mill. So rather with most mill, it's just like burst the top cards of your deck, certain number depending on what is, like burst 3, mill 3, burst 5. But instead, it mills specific cards. So it's a bit less random in the fact that you get to choose what goes instead of just milling anything. So it means you don't end up losing cards like your negates and stuff, or super combos to milling, which is quite nice, and helps up the grave as well, because this is like with a lot, like some black decks or most black decks, it's quite great drop area based. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the leader and go through the deck, and again once I've gone through the deck, go over a few combos and interactions with the deck. Right, so we'll start off, as I said, with the leader. And so Dark Broly is a Dark Broly Paragus, so it's from the Dark Empire Saga Zeno deck. It's got an activate main of adds once per turn, where you add up to one card from your life to your hand, so it's got Self Awakening. Then you look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and you can place up to 3 black battle cards with 3000 power among them that you see into your drop area, and place the rest of the cards at the bottom of the deck in any order. So it allows you to as I said, have controlled mill by sending like stuff you want to send and want in the drop, and the rest you go back at the bottom of the deck. And looking at 5 is like a decent amount, and that's why there's quite a lot of basically black battle. There's like most of the black battle cards that 30k power are maxed up to 4, with some exceptions of the one-offs, because they're recyclable, and I'll explain that in a bit. So having some nice self-awakening is really good. Means you're not depending on your opponent attacking your other cards to awaken, which is a big benefit of the leader. And it's got an standard auto of when it attacks, draw 1. So it still has draw power on the side outside of that. So every turn, if you can attack, you can get 2 cards for free, which is nice. Then it's got a weak skill of a draw 2. So basically, when you're left with 4, draw 2 cards and flip it over. So draw 2 is nice, where because it doesn't really matter about your energy in this deck, because most of the plays are free, or for like 1 energy. So the draw 2 is more beneficial. In fact, it keeps your advantage up. And then the awaken side, it's got 2 effects. One's activate main, one's activate battle. So the first one, the activate main, is a once per turn, and its effect is place up the 3 black battle cards with 30,000 power from your warp to your drop area, and then draw 1. So a lot of the theme of this is like warping cards from your drop area to your warp. Warping cards from your drop area. So the lead allows you to recycle cards that you've warped. So like the main one's the 30k one, is the one that are part of your core of your deck, and then allows you more power. So unlike Tower and the black. Apart from unlike Tower, it's got draw on both sides, which is really beneficial. So not only, and because it says place up to 3 battle cards, if you don't have anything to place back, like say you flipped over, haven't got warp, you can still draw the 1 because it chooses up to, so you can choose 0. So having drawn the other side means you keep the advantage even more, and you gain quite a lot of advantage from the front side effect as well. And you deck fin as well, so you're more likely to see the cards you want, like it's easier to deck fin, so you're able to see your super combos, extra cards and stuff like that. And then it's got an active battle, which is quite strong. You can choose 1 black battle card with 30,000 power in your hand or battle area, place it in your drop area as a cost, and then that card the leader gets 5,000 power for the battle. So if you can see, with a lot of the battle cards, well mainly the Dark Broly stuff, Dark Broly core, they're all 0 cost combat power, which means when you're not awakened, you can't combo them. well, you can combo them, sorry, but you get no combo power. But the leader's effect allows you to sack them off to gain 5,000 power. So it puts that boost on the leader rather than have combo power, and so it gets around things like the Barlock Unison. So you don't. So rather than you combo something off and it gets rid of it, you increase the power, so you don't have to worry about things like that. Another good thing is the only card in the deck that has 10k combo power is the Mirror Creator's Orb, and that basically means that the mirror is never dead in hand. Because either you can have if you have an energy open, you could tap it to combo the mirror to get 10k, or if you have no energy, because you've used all in your last turn, you can at least use the Broly's effect to use the mirror, because it's a 30k black battle card that you can use for the effect activate battle to gain 5k. So nothing in the deck is ever dead. You can either combo off or use it in some capacity. And another thing is because it says in your battle area, so if you say play one of your big Brolys, one of the big boys, and you swing with it and it's in rest, you can still use the effect to sack it off while it's in rest mode to gain that 5k power. So it means if you go ham or like go aggro and swing with all your battle cards, or your ones that can attack, because some of them can, you can still use them as combo power defensively. So it's really good leader and really good connection with everything. Everything meshes together really well. And also, one of the reasons why we have the SS3 tag teams on Gohan in here is because the leader can easily trigger it using its effect. So say if you've got the Dark Broly out, you swing with it, your turn, you combo off to basically so you can out combo an attack. And when you sack off one in your battle area, you can play the Gohan for free because you triggered the condition to then have a blocker, or either use it defensively to have a blocker, or offensively to then put down a 15k swing, which is really nice. So that's the leader. It's a really strong leader. So it's got self-awakening and draw power on both sides, and a very strong effect to make sure that it's going to take a lot to basically out combo you. And now we get onto the main deck. So I'll go through the Broly stuff first, and then I'll go through the other choices and then the extra stuff. So the first one we got is we'll go backwards. So we got the I'll start first. I'll start with the Broly and go backwards. So we got the Broly Savage Rush. It's a one cost 30k. So like all the black cards apart from the Boo, Super Combo, and Gohan are 30k black battle cards. And like the rest, like all the one drop battle cards, it has two permanents, which the first one is its skills can't be negated in any area, so this effect can't be stopped, and it can only be played if your leader is a Dark Broly, which it is, so you don't have to worry about that. And its other permanent is it cannot attack, because can you imagine if you had a 30k for one energy that could attack? That's 30k is a lot of power to out combo. And with the Broly, he's got an activate main of one specified black. You can you can remove 3 other black battle cards from your drop. So that's not restricted to the ones that are just 30k. It's any black battle cards. So you can use a super combo you use, the Boo, Gohan, to warp to play it off on the drop. So basically, you can warp 3 battle cards from your drop to play it for free from grave. So you lose nothing from hand, and you get the Broly out. And you may be wondering why having a 30k that can't attack play at a drop is any good, and that's because of the extra card which will come in a minute, which we'll actually go over it now because it easy enough. So the extra card that makes that card we use that card for is the only non-black card in the deck, which is the 7-star Ball Parasitic Darkness. It's got a permanent of it gains Dark Dragon Ball in all areas, like all the parasitic, negative Dragon Balls, and like the rest, they're all 0 cost, so free to play. They've all got a activate battle effect, just like the things like Demonic Absorption, where you can choose one of your cards, and it gains 5k for the battle. And there's also but this one's got an activate main where you can choose one black Broly, energy cost of 1 from your field and put in the drop, and then choose one Dark Broly from your deck or drop and play it. So basically all it means is for 1 energy, so you can basically play the Broly for 1 energy from the drop and with 3 black battle cards, and then play the 7-star ball to drop it and play one of the big Brolys for free. So that's really strong because 1, the big Brolys are 30k power, and 2, they all have quite strong effects. So it basically means you can play. So that's the most expensive way to play the Brolys, using that 1 energy and 2 cards. But it means it makes a consistent way of trying to get out cheaper or easier. But then the way to constantly make sure you have the 7-star ball is the next card. Toa, Unison of Magic and Science. So like with the other one, it has the same 2 permanents, but then it has an auto of when you play this card from your hand. When you play this card, you can choose 1 Dark Dragon Ball from your deck out to your hand, and then it has Activate Main, which is once per turn, costs 1 black specific energy, and you can choose a Dark Dragon Ball from your drop out to your hand. So it basically means when you play it, you grab 1 for your deck, and after that, at the cost of 1 black energy, you can keep recycling it from the drop. So it means you can consistently keep bring out the Broly, and then you sack it off with the Dark Dragon Ball, which you can recycle to then bring out a 6 cost. Or at the very least, if you can't play that 1-drop Broly and nothing drop, or you have to Broly and drop, at the very least you can use 7-star ball as a 5k boost when you offensively or defensively, and then grab it back for free. So it can make, it's basically a nice cantrip for if you've got the energy spare and you've got that drop to grab it back. And then we've got the next Tower card, which is Tower Dark Aura Deluge. Same thing, 1 cost, 30k, same 2 permanents, but it's not Activate Main, that's once per turn. You can choose 1 black battle card in your battle area with 30k power, put in the drop, and then choose 1 black battle card with 30k power in your drop area out to your hand. So the really good thing about this is if you have 1 Dark Broly's out already on your field that survived from the last turn, so say you played 1 last turn and it's still alive, you can swing with it, and then after you swing with it, you can use the effect, sack it off to the grave, grab something else back, and then you're then able to play the Dark Broly again back on the field to get its effect, and 2 swing again for another 30k. So that's really nice, and you didn't really lose anything because you're replacing you're getting a card back from the drop with the tower. So if you want to grab back the other Toa, or 1 of the 3 unique cards, like the 3 unique cards we got is the 2 Mirror Overwhelms and the Bardock. So if you lose those by the leader's effect or by using the combo off, they're never gone if they're in warp or drop, because that Toa can grab them back. So that if you don't need if early game you don't need them, you can combo off, or use the leader's effect to use its combo power or as a power boost, and then later game when you feel you can play them or you want to play them, you can grab them for the drop, so they're never lost, which is one really nice thing about this deck. And then the last 1-drop one we got is Paragus Tower Subordinate, same 2 permanents, but it's got Activate Main. You can choose itself and 1 Toa in your battle area, switch above the rest, choose a Dark Broly in your battle area, and give it crit. So this is a nice thing that if with the Toas they just stay inactive. They don't really, because you can't swing with them. Same with Paragus, you can at least tap them to then give a Broly crit, and 30k crit is quite powerful, especially in the early turns. If you swing a 30k crit, your opponents are using a lot of cards to out combo. Well, they're either using a gate, using a lot of combo power to not take the 30k crit, or they're just letting it go through so they don't waste cards and then losing a life. And this deck is quite controlling, so you can just slow roll that, and it's a nice way to deny your opponent resources early turn. So that's all the 1-drops. Now we got to the 6-drops, the 3 Dark Brothers. It's 3 different ones. They're uncommon, rare, and super rare, so the deck's not very expensive, and these are, well, I felt they'd be quite easy to pick up. So start with the first one. We got the Dark Broly, the new Mass Saiyan. Similar to all of them, they've all got unique. so you can't play multiple copies on the field, so it's good, that's balanced, you can't spam them. And this one is the one that has blocker, so it's a nice 30k blocker. And where this is really good is against aggro decks like Gohan, being able to block one attack. 30k is really nice, or even with the new the Super SS4 Vegeta leader, being able to drop this, so when you swing the leader you block it, means that deck doesn't function as well as it could. And then it's got an activate main, which is the same as all of them have, which is if your leader is a Dark Broly, you can warp from your drop area six other black cards. So basically, what it means by that is you can't warp itself to play itself. So you can't warp 5 and itself to do it. You've got to have 7 in there, 6 other black battle cards and itself to then play it itself from the drop. And then they've all got an auto. Well, they've all got an auto, which has an effect, but then they've also got the extra text in the auto, which this one has, which is when you play this card, you can't play another copy of it for the turn. So that's really good. That with the unique means it can't be just abused and spams every turn. So it means once you play one, you can't play another copy for the turn. Otherwise, imagine that with the with the other two anyway. Imagine to play it, swing with it, sack it off with leader, play it again, get the effect, swing with it, sack it off with Toa, play it again, just being able to constantly do that every turn. It's too powerful. So balancing that is really nice. So that's the blocker. Got the next one, which is the Dark Broly Uncontrolled Berserker. So as I said, like everyone, it's got the unique tag, the same activate main, but then it's also has the same bit, but it also has the added bit of the auto where when you play it, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards on the field and warp it. It doesn't go for barrier, which is a bit, such a bit, but that'd be too good. But at least that way it warps a card rather than pops it, which is really nice. So you can remove threats on the board. So your opponent drops like something big that you want, or something that you don't want to stay around. That's your way to remove it. And it's you can do it every turn as long as you've got the resources, which is really strong. And 30k, very powerful. And then the last of Dark Broly is Dark Broly Demon Realm Avenger. It's my favourite one. As I said, same unique, same activate main, but its auto is when you play it, if your leader is a Dark Broly card, you can choose one battle card in your opponent's drop area and warp it, and then your opponent chooses one card in their hand and sends it to the warp. So this is really good in the fact that it's grave control and hand control. And not only that, it doesn't go to drop, it goes to warp, so it means if your opponent's got things like what's it called, go Saiyan Instincts in the grave, warp it. If they've got Fu Mission Accomplished in the grave, warp it. And also you're just slowly controlling the hand as well. So if they're not really drawing much, you can start whittling down resources. And then this card put with the Paragus means every turn you're playing it, warping a card from hand and drop. So you maintain the drop that prevents sparking. You slowly your what's per turn reducing their hand, and with the Paragus giving it crit means they're not getting resources off their leader. So either comboing out to try and keep their life, or they're just not getting resources and slowly losing them. And it being a 30k, they're hard to remove apart from if your opponent's got effects to remove them, which means they're likely to survive unless they've got a way to pop it. And if they survive a turn, you get even more attacks so you can swing with them, then use leader attack to remove them, and then play them again. And with the leader's effect, putting it back, you're easy enough to play them multiple times. And with there, you've got alternate ways to play them, either with their own activate main or the extra card. So that's the Dark Broly core. Next we move on to the other 30k. Let's go over them first. So first one we got is the SS4 Bardock Combat Instincts. So this is a overwhelm for 3 specific black energy. The good thing about this deck is you don't really use the energy. You only really use the energy either to play the 1-drops if you want them on board, or to play the Broly from drop, to use the Toa's effect to get back the Dragon Ball, or the Majin Buu, really, or the overwhelm cards. So having 3 black is not too bad considering what its effect is. So it's a dual attacker, so 2 30k swings, which means that's quite a lot of combo power to use to stop one of his attacks. It can do it twice, so it can be a finisher. Its effect is an auto. So when you play this card using Overwhelm, your opponent chooses 2 cards from the hand and sends them to the warp. So it's more hand control. So if you get the Broly out first and make a warp card from hand in 1 drop, and then play this, that's 3 swings of 30k. And makes them lose 3 cards in hand to warp as well. So where you can press really early in the really early turns for 30k power swings, they're going to be they might accumulate a hand, but then they're going to be using a lot of either using them gates early or a lot of combo power to try and stop you from killing them. And your stuff is very curable, and also after you use the instincts once, you can then put it back in the drop with your leader, and then use the tower to add it back to hand. So it's so having 1 copy means with the leader's frontside effect, you can put it more likely to hit into the drop, and then it's always available to you. Next one we have is the Mirror Created Orb. Most people know what it does. It's an Overwhelm 4 for 1 energy, has Deflect, so they can't counterplay it, which is a nice thing. It has the first auto, which you can't play in this because your leader's not an android, so I'll skip that. And it's got the other auto of when this card attacks, it gains 5k power for every card in your warp for the turn. So basically means that it can be a finisher. So you won't get your opponent down to 1 life, play this, and then it's going to swing and have probably enough power to not be able to be out comboed. So it could be a finisher, and it's recurable, just like all the other 30ks. So not much to say about that. And then we got the last card we got is 30k is the Mirror Assault from the Skies. So this is your double striker. It's Overwhelm 7, so a bit more costly and requires 1 energy. But the good thing about it is when you play it, draw 1 card, then in your opponent's next turn, at the start of your opponent's next main phase, you can choose 1 energy and tap it. So what that basically means is you can try and go in for game of 30k double strike, but if they manage to out combo or stop that, you at least untap an energy to help yourself defend next turn, like say for like a power burst or using the mirror to combo off. So that's all the 30k power cards. So they're all easy recruitable, all very strong, and just make a great quarter deck. So the next cards I'll go over is the SS3 Tag Team Son Gohan. So that's basically it's a really good card. The fact that it's easy to remove a card on the field, so you can use a leader's effect to sack off a card to play it, or you can use Tower to sack it off, or it even triggers when if you use the ball to remove Broly, that triggers it, or at the end of the turn if you overwhelm and that gets into the warp, play it then. So the good thing of it is a 15k blocker, so it can either use offensively, as I said, to swing the leader, sack off something on field, play it for free, so you've got another 15k at swinger while powering up your leader, or you can use it defensively by comboing off, using the effect of the leader to move something on your board, play it for free as a blocker. So it has both capabilities, which is really strong. I put it free because free will make it so you can see it enough, or at least see one through the game. And with the deck fin and the deck's got from the leader's front side, it's more likely you will see like 1 copy of any card in this deck. And the next card we got is the Imagine Boo. So it's a bit more draw power. So it's got the activate main. Well, it's 1 energy. If your leader card's black and all your energy is black, and you move this card from your drop area to your warp, and you can activate the activate main skill for the rest of the turn. You can choose 1 card in your hand, discard it, and draw 2. So it basically means if you've got an open energy in the turn that you drop, you can ditch something like a Broly in your drop that you can then revive next turn. You draw 2 more cards, so there's a bit more draw power. Black card in the drop for your Brolys, or even 5k combo power on your unawakened side if you need to out combo something. So a decent card. I only played 2 because I prefer to have more 30ks to make the leader's front side live, because even with all this amount of 30k black cards in the deck, sometimes when testing I have only seen 1 or 2 which sucks. You want to see 3 so you can deck fin more and set up your drop, so your deck functions more consistently. And then the next one we have is the last battle card we have now is Super Combo. Now I've gone with the SS Vegeta, the Prince Ice back, so the Super Combo for set 11. So its auto is no combo power, but then like the original Super Combos, it's got the effect of if your leader, it's got the effect to gain combo power 10k. So its auto is if your leader card's black and all your energy is black, you could use one card in your hand and place it at the bottom of your deck. And if you do, it gains 10k combo power, and then you draw 2 cards. So one good thing is it allows you to put cards back in your deck that you don't want in hand, or that you don't want to see in hand. It's like if you feel like if you've got a Toa in your hand and no more 7-star balls in your deck, you can use that to put a 7-star ball on the bottom of your deck, draw 2. The next time you play Tower to grab that ball back. Things like that is quite strong. And be on the draw more. Like today we did get the Barbary Errata, which makes it so it's a maximum of 15k. Due to that fact, I've just found that the Super Combo is a lot better in the fact that it can replace itself and draw another card. So it can get you 2 new cards, so you're not really losing anything on the combo power of Barbary, using a card to combo 15. And also allows you to see your deck more. Like sometimes I have games where I haven't seen a single 1-drop Broly because they're all in my deck and I haven't been able to see them. So then it's quite handy to dig. And with Bibbidi being a maximum of 15k now, it's not as strong as it was before. It's still strong, but not as strong as before for this deck. So that's why I've gone over this. And then lastly, we're going to the 2 black extra cards. So Power Breath is an obvious one. It's a staple negate, so basically it's a staple for any black deck really. It's your negate to stop attacks. It's got a sparking permanent where if you've got 5 cards in your drop, you can play it for free by taking a life instead. And it basically negates an attack and grabs your 1-drop from your drop or warp back to your hand. So if you want any of these 1-drop black battle cards in your drop and you warp them for a Broly, if you power burst and negate attack, you can grab them back. So it basically means this deck has it so almost no card is truly lost. You could always grab them back. Apart from the Super Combo, Boo and Gohan, all the other battle cards are easily retrievable or recyclable, which is really nice. And you play it at 4 because it's a very strong negate and it grabs you back, so I think you want basically it stops an attack. And once you get down, and basically the aim with the deck is to get down to 4 life and not go any further, because you want to always have the last 3 life before you get down to 1 to use the Power Burst for free. So at least you've got, so that way at least 3 of the 4 Power Bursts are going to be always live, and then where you don't use much energy, you can always have an energy open after you use Mirror for the 4th Power Burst. And then the last card in the deck, Demonic Absorption. The reason for this card is basically Invoker. So with the deck, if you listen to me this far, or you've just looked at the deck, you'll see that there's nothing that gets through barrier. So nothing touches anything with a barrier. And with Invoker, their main battle card is the Vegeta that has Deflect and Barrier, and has Invoker. So once they pop that on the board, there's no way to get rid of it. So what I've done is, I've got a main deck option to deck, because once that deck is at the Vegeta down, they can just stall until they get VS. Use leader to look at your hand, get rid of, see how many negates you are. If you only got 1, get rid of it so they can kill you. At least I wanted something in the main deck that can help, so I added 2 Demonic Absorption, because at the very least, against anything that's not Invoker, it's a 5k power, so it's got the same effect as the 7-star ball, where if your leader's black, you could use one of your leader cards, choose one of your leader cards or battle cards, and you get 5k power for the battle. So at the very least, it's a 5k boost. And for things like the Vegeta or anything else Barrett you want removed, you can play it for free, which isn't much. As I said, you don't use your energy. to then remove stuff that has barrier. And also, at the very least, the other thing you can do with it is charge it. So if you see it, you can just charge it as energy. And yeah, I would side deck 2 more of them, just because it's mainly against Invoker. That's the only things you really need for Invoker, because you just want to see what on games 2 and 3. If you do lose game 1, you want to see as many of them as possible, so that every way, once it gets to turn 3, if they ever play a Vegeta, you remove it and then carry on your turn, because with Invoker gone, they can't really function as well. And if they do play the Champa Vados, you've then got the Dark Broly to free play and warp it, so it's gone as well. So you have to worry about that. And that's the main deck. So it's a 50 card deck, because I want more consistency to see the cards. Like if it's at 60, the more cards in your deck, the more consistent it is. And even at 50, I've had it have times where I'm not seeing as many. I'm not seeing 3 from my top 5 for the Awakened effect to put in drop, or I'm not seeing the Broly Savage Rush because they're all still in the deck, even when I've gone halfway through. So I want to keep it at 50, so as consistent as possible. And then with some of the good combos with the deck is, as like I've already explained, really, like the Tower Unison of Magic and Science is really good to keep recycling. If you can get 2 of those back every turn, you can either play 2 Broly 1-drops, get 2 balls back, and then play 2 6 costs, 2 big boys, and then play the 3rd one using its own effect. So every turn you could potentially just keep drop 1 of each Broly every turn. And the Tower, Dark, or Deluge is really nice in recycling your Overwhelm cards. So if you don't, so basically you can use them as combo power to get rid of them, and then when you feel like you want to play them, sack off a card. So like swing with one of the big Brolys, sack it off, grab it back, then play it. And their Overwhelms aren't really that costly. The Mirror Assault from the Skies is like your main end turn when they're at 2. Shut that down, swing, and then put as many super combos as you can into it, or whittle them down with the rest. And then at least that way it untaps energy for you at the end of your turn if they do survive. The mirror Create Absorbs good for if they're on 1 energy that have a really good finisher, because it gets so much combo power when it swings, and especially with this deck where you're warping a lot and where you're filling up your grave a lot, it can reach 10k easily, 100k easily. And then the Barlock is a really nice one for an overarm option, as extra hand control against decks that commit a lot. You can just whittle it down. Having 2 30k swings means you can either clear their board by swinging more of the board, or swinging a leader to put more pressure, because 30k is difficult to combo, and with them losing 2 in hand, if they're already low on cards, they're taking all the hits. And with having 30k swings every turn, one of the strong things you can do is if you can play 1 of each Broly out in a turn and swing with them all, that's 3 30k swings. And then you can swing your leader, set them all off, and make your leader a 30k swing. So a lot of time you are swinging for 30k, which they're going to is either going to take 2 super combos out of the hand, a super combo and 2 ever cards, or 4 cards out of the hand just to stop. So that's my take on Dark Broly. It's what I'm going to be playing next set, along with Green Gotenks. A lot of fun testing this deck, and I feel like it's not. It can be aggro, but it's more of a control deck. And as I've learnt with almost any card game, cards that can be played for free are normally always very, very strong. So thank you for watching. If you've got this far and haven't given up after the first few minutes of seeing the list, if you'd like more things like this, if you like the video, give it a like. If you enjoy things like this and my take on decks, subscribe to my channel and you'll see more things like this. One thing I'm going to start doing is a cube draft series, going over what cube draft is, how to cube draft, like some advice on doing that, and through my cube draft list. Because with my locals, I've been doing it. The last 3 tournaments I've played them, they've been cube draft, and I've really enjoyed it, because it's quite different and it's a more fun format. And if you have any ideas on the deck or any advice to give, just drop a comment below, and I'll basically reply back to anything that's replied, and any advice is helpful. So I've been Jamie, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you, and bye.